Welcome to this edition of SKNI's Week in Review. I am Rahim Berry. Highlights for week of March 13 to 19 of 2020 include Prime Minister Harris and Caribbean leaders engage IMF on COVID-19 impact. Chief Medical Officer advises boosting immune system, and first batch of smart bins distributed. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. The Honorable Timothy Harris, joined other leaders, Ministers of Finance and Central Bank governors from across the region on a conference call with representatives of the Washington, D.C.-based International Monetary Fund to discuss primarily the impact of the COVID-19 on the economies of Caribbean countries on March 16. St. Kitts and Nevis' participation in this exercise formed part of the government's overall efforts to manage the fallout in the likelihood the novel coronavirus reaches the Federation and to bring on board expertise of all relevant stakeholders, whether nationally, regionally, and internationally. Prime Minister Harris said, and I quote, "Like most Caribbean states, we are heavily dependent on tourism. We have a small but important export manufacturing sector, and all of these are going to come under significant stress, and we would certainly rely upon the advice of the IMF to minimize the impact." End of quote. Prime Minister Harris, supported in the meeting by Cabinet colleagues Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Sean Richards, Senior Minister the Honorable Vance Amory, the Honorable Iriam Patches-Liburd, the Honorable Lindsey Grant, the Honorable Eugene Hamilton, and Honorable Wendy Phipps. St. Kitts and Nevis' Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws has recommended that in the event of COVID-19 outbreak in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, people who are displaying respiratory symptoms should remain at home. Dr. Laws said this during her presentation at the COVID-19 informational staff session for all workers within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Post, Urban Development and Transport, which took place on the grounds of the Water Services Department at Needs Must on March 17.
If you are ill and you pick it up and you're coughing and sneezing, you need to practice proper cough etiquette in terms of coughing in your flexed elbow in a tissue, discarding it properly, or most importantly, if the doctor tells you that you have this disease, it's good if you have a face mask, a surgical mask that you could put on to protect your loved ones from getting it.
The CMO also advised that persons should avoid touching the face, especially around the eyes or mouth area, because it increases the risk of that person contracting the virus. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis, and by extension the Solid Waste Management Corporation, has made well on its promise to distribute smart bins to every household in St. Kitts by delivering the first batch to residents in Stapleton Extension, St. Peters on March 16, 2020.
Each household, 12,000 in the first instance, will receive a 65-gallon bin to be able to put their garbage and secure their garbage before they're collected by the trucks.
Ensuring that communities are kept clean is nothing new to the government. A cleanup campaign was initiated in 2019, which included bins being placed in communities to encourage residents to actively participate in the campaign. Scrap metals were also collected and taken to the Connery landfill. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Osman Petty, says the duties and responsibilities undertaken by St. Kitts and Nevis' forensic scientists are crucial to helping with criminal investigations being carried out by the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. Mr. Petty highlighted this during his speech at the official handover ceremony for forensic consumables and equipment to the police force on March 16, 2020 at the Police Training Complex in Bastia.
My research suggests that forensic science is that piece without which the puzzle of a criminal investigation is incomplete. Without the application of forensic science, criminals can never be convicted unless eyewitness is present.
Mr. Petty said that forensic scientists in criminal investigation are crucial as they involve the careful examination of evidence while ensuring that it is not tampered with. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws gave insight into preventative measures residents of St. Kitts and Nevis can employ to protect against the COVID-19 virus during a town hall meeting at the Newton Ground Primary School on March 17, 2020. However, she also emphasized that boosting the body's immune system is an essential part of reducing the impact of COVID-19.
So these are the things you go to the supermarket and get to prepare for the outbreak. Okay? The fruits, the vegetables, healthy food to boost your immune system so that your body functions optimally to fight off this infection.
Other beneficial measures that were shared included maintaining low stress levels and exercising regularly. And this concludes this week's edition of SKNS Week in Review. See you next week.